And later this year, we're actually talking with the PhoneGap guys. We'll help with the building, so with them, hopefully.
Those are impressive names. What's your go-to-market strategy, once you get out of beta and to, get these guys, ESPN on you and otherwise? I mean, is it a channels play, or is it direct sales force, or is it just going to be viral?
We think a lot of it's going to be viral. We've worked a lot with, historically what I've done and what a lot of my team has done is we've helped people make big bets on new technologies. And so we think that we have a lot of companies that are already coming to us. We actually have done almost no sales work. All of these companies have come to us. So we're getting a lot of that happening already. Also, because of our open source work and because we have a lot of developers who are very interested in Sprout Core, we're getting a lot of individual developers who are coming to us just virally and getting a lot of attraction that way. Sprout Core itself has over 5,000 developers working every day on building apps. And in some big companies, little companies, and all over. And that's growing very rapidly, so we have a lot of them that will be coming to us as well.
Tell me about your development tools and your strategy. Same question for PhoneGap.
So I mentioned a couple of times, PhoneGap's part of our build tool chain.
Got it.
We're a JavaScript framework.
Yep.
So that's just something you integrate with your existing IDE, whatever it is you want to use, it just drops right in. And then if you want to deploy with us, it's basically a button you press. So after you've built your app and you're ready to get onto our hosted service, you press a button on this app that's on your machine and it's deployed.
Okay.
So it's fairly simple to integrate into your existing tool chain. We definitely don't want to replace the IDE or do anything like that.
From a JavaScript perspective, so we're jQuery primarily. Is my web developers switching over to this? Does this work with jQuery, completely different language? What?
Sprout Core is a jQuery library.
Okay.
So if you're already a jQuery developer, you'll feel right at home using Sprout Core. All we do is save you from having to reinvent a lot of wheels.
You mentioned that basically this has the best of both worlds in terms of discoverability from native and also web apps. So could you, if I have an application, do I have to pick which distribution channel I have as a native app, or can I effectively get the benefits of having of both at the same time?
No, you do both. In fact, this is one of the technologies I'm most excited about. We've actually, over the last few months, we've completely re-engineered Sprout Core so that starting this summer, any application written in Sprout Core will automatically generate a unique URL for every state in the application. So if you're viewing a story, if you're playing a certain game, whatever you're doing, right? So what you do is you can create your native app. You can put it in the App Store. Someone can be playing a game, choose to share with a friend, and that creates a URL that you can put on Twitter or Facebook. And when they click on that URL on the iPad, directly inside of Twitter, your game or your magazine or your app or whatever it is will load right inside of Twitter to the exact point that you were at when you were playing the game. To me, that's really the key, because this isn't, now what we're doing is we're not just saving people some time and money, we're actually opening up a brand new way to attract new users and build a business. I think that's the really, why I think the web ultimately won in the first place. I think that's why it's going to have a big comeback on mobile.
Along those lines, from an analytics tracking perspective, do you integrate with any kind of web standards? Is that part of the kit? Are we implementing that all ourselves?
Right now, we integrate with Google Analytics.
Okay.
You can use any analytics package you want.
Okay.
Well, there's a gap in the action here. Talk about some of the other business relationships you're building with other kinds of players in the marketplace, if there are any that you could talk about.
So there's a lot of them I can't talk about.
Only talk about those you can then.
So one of the nice things is because of our background and a lot of what we've done in the past, we have really close relationships with all of the platform vendors. There's actually changes that are in the web browsers for Android and for WebOS and for a number of other platforms that are specifically to support us. So to me, that's one of the exciting things. That the web's not all the way there yet today, but we're one of the few players, and several of them are in the room today actually, who have the ability to kind of represent developers and represent application people and go to the platform companies and say, look, here's the next thing that we need to do really fantastic stuff on your platform. So we get to do a lot of that. And we're also working with some third parties for backends. So those are things I can't talk about, but they'll be good when they're out. You'll love them.
Good. Any other questions? I have one more if you don't. So you were constrained with the 6-minute limit in terms of the kind of use cases you could talk about. Is there another use case you might want to mention that can help us also get a better feel for the scope of your capabilities?
So originally, Sprout Core was developed for traditional PIM-style apps. It's been used to build email clients and marketing automation and calendars and contacts and photo viewers and pretty much anything you could imagine on the desktop or on a mobile phone. It's already been built except for 3D shooter games, and those are things you shouldn't use the web for yet anyway. So we've been used for a lot of stuff, and we have enterprises that are building on this. We're focused mostly on the consumers, but a lot of enterprises are pulling from consumer innovation, so we think that's a good place to start.
Okay, I want to make sure you still get that ESPN sale. So he mentioned something about 3D. You can support 3D websites, though, right?
3D websites, yeah, we actually, no. What you do is we do have some people that have used some 3D, and so what we did was we put them in a phone gap and wrapper, and then they mixed in the 3D when they wanted to. It worked great.
Any other questions, guys? All right, thank you very much. All right, so as I said, we have a couple of spare moments, so that gives you, the audience, an opportunity to ask our group of startup entrepreneurs any additional questions you might have as